Welcome, Barclay. Today we're here to interview you and for your induction into the Brantford Area Sports Hall of Recognition, so welcome.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
I have a number of questions, 6 in fact, that I'm going to ask you, and look forward to sharing that with everyone,
Okay,
your
great.
answers. The first question I have for you is, what drew you into your sport of rugby?
Well, rugby is not a very, I guess, played sport as a youngster, and nowadays it is, but when I was starting, the entry level was high school. So what drew me into the sport was my brother had played in grade 9, and when he moved on to grade 10 and I was coming into grade 9, it was kind of, well, if Jarrett can do it, I can do it type thing. Plus, I mean, when you start, I played football and basketball, so Mr. Booz and Mr. Ferris were recruiting all during those times to get me to come out to the rugby team. So that's kind of what drew me into the sport, yeah.
Well-known rugby names.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any mentors?
Numerous, actually. Mentors in just being an athlete, first and foremost would be my brother Jarrett. Very good athlete in his own right, and as I mentioned in my induction speech, he kind of set the bar for everything I did because he was bigger, stronger, faster, and so he always kind of set that bar for me. As far as rugby, obviously Mr. Booz and Mr. Ferris, George Jones, he was one of my first coaches at the Harlequins Club. And then a few players, Mark Cahoon would be one for sure, and Ian Doris and Sean Dawson were my junior coaches that kind of groomed me and, you know, kind of put me in position to be successful. Yep. So I would definitely mention those fellas for sure.
Oh, terrific. What are some of the highlights of your rugby career?
Well, I guess an obvious one would be playing for Canada and wearing the maple leaf, and highlights definitely being in Twickenham Stadium in London, England, and when I was in Japan playing and listening to the national anthem before a game. I think that would be a highlight for anybody in any kind of sport. Just wearing the red jersey and standing there listening to your anthem.
Sure.
I'd also have to mention, even locally in 2003, the Brantford Harlequins won the McCormick Cup, which is pinnacle of Ontario rugby. Yeah. And that stands out to me because I played with a bunch of my peers, but also the guys that I played with in high school and in university, and some of the names that I mentioned earlier, and got to play with them and win a championship, and that's pretty special, because I mean you can share that with everybody you played with, whereas I mean some of the national honors, there's a few in Brantford, but you don't necessarily get to share that with everybody.
Sure, that sounds great. How has your sport of rugby impacted your life?
In every way, to be honest. Rugby is it's probably the ultimate team sport. It doesn't matter your age, shape, size. There's always a game for you to play, and all of the connections I have from rugby, friends, colleagues, people that I work with now at Sun Life. There's a bunch of rugby guys in the community, and we keep in touch. Anywhere in the world you go, and if you step into a restaurant or a hotel or anything and you mention rugby, there will be 2 or 3 people that you can instantly have a bond and a conversation with. And also, like most of my friends that I still keep in touch with locally, that they've come through the ranks and played rugby of some sort. So in every facet, it definitely has impacted my life.
Yeah, great. I have a question. This is a personal question. I'm a runner.
Okay.
But I often question why playing rugby you tape your ears, or some people tape their ears. That's why I didn't get into rugby.
Well, that's pretty fine. There's basically one reason why people tape their ears, and if you're in the tight 5, so a prop, hooker, or second row, and even some of the flankers will, and it's because their ears, when they go into the scrum, they rub against shorts, and they get pulled back and ripped and cauliflower ear. That wasn't a problem for me because I was one of the fancy pants that was outside waiting for them to do all the dirty work and then just give me the ball and I would run. Yeah. So, no, I never taped my ears.
That's terrific. What does it mean to you to be inducted into the Brantford Area Sports Hall of Recognition?
At first, it was kind of a little bit of a shock because, I mean, it was so long ago that I had played for Canada, and then it was very humbling, I mean, because my kids swim at the Gretzky Center. I play hockey there. So you walk through and you see the names and you see, you know, I mean, obviously Gretzky's the big one that stands out. But even in my sport, Aaron Carpenter,
Yeah.
he's got the most caps in Canada. So, I mean, to be included into that kind of sorority, if you will, or fraternity,
Yeah.
it's pretty special and it's very, very humbling.
Yeah. Great. Well, last question I have is for a young aspiring athlete. Do you have a message that you'd like to give them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for a young aspiring athlete, doesn't matter what your sport or game is, you can control 3 facets of your game, and you can control those no matter who your coach is, where you're playing, whatever. Number 1 is your preparation. Whether that's watching film, whether that's, you know, stretching properly, whether that's, you know, doing the stuff on the side to prepare yourself to be better.
Right.
The second is your effort. You can always control your own effort. You can't control anybody else's effort or what they do in a game or sport or anything in life. You can't control anybody else's effort, but you can definitely control yours. The third and probably the most important is being coachable, right? And that goes with attitude and being able to take some criticism or some coaching and be just that person that doesn't matter how good you are, how talented you are, if you can be coachable, you'll be super successful because you can take criticism in or take coaching in and improve yourself and be better the next day.
So being prepared, putting the effort in, and having the right attitude.
You got it.
Great messages.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, Barclay, and again, I congratulate you into the Sports Hall of Recognition.
Well, thanks very much,
Thanks for
Rick.
coming.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Well, thanks for checking out our video. I welcome you to check out other videos on our inductees at our YouTube channel or our website, BrantfordAreaSportsHall.ca. Better yet, we'd love to see you come down to the Sports Hall located at the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center. We hope to see you soon.